carried your in this part of the world. You see people coming with all of that. Everybody they clear, everybody they come back. A lawmaker has and they
so they only do that in Nigeria. The truth of the matter is that globally, we were talking about people having the capacity to think right, the capacity to have emotional intelligence, to know how to relate with other people, and executive intelligence. And all of these things are very critical to help your perception, the way people perceive you. And then your personal branding. How do you brand yourself in such a way that you stand out, you become different, you become amazing? So if you're running a business in Abuja, you are running a local business, you own even if you own a shop, you a group of companies, or you keep government Saturday, full day, and it is at the hotel, And the interesting thing is that you're only going to 5 people there. As I'm talking, 300 people have signed up. And the conference. So many, it's about 5 people. So if you're listening today, you want to come in as from your own company to people, whatever it is. Only have to, or you're a politician, whatever that you are right now, this opportunity applies to you. Just all you need to do is just apply and say, this is my name, I would want to have a seat. And guess what? Usually our conference is usually quite pricey, but this time around we've decided to 250,000 per person. So what that means is that, from 500,000 that usually a conference, list of a conference now is about 250. So if you are having, you park your car and need to pay, this number, what would you do? Nominate yourself or nominate your team to participate in this particular conference. Changing is life changing, and number to send message to. Remember, no calls. Purely message, my name is this, I want to register, because before the end of today, you not even find a seat. So now take this number. The number is 08157919770. The number again is 08157919770. And for the last time, I also wanted to let you know that if you register for the conference, you can have a copy of the book 365. But the 365 is launched at 250,000 per copy at the moment.
So you are buying the book.
You're already buying the book, and at the same time, guess what? You have access to there'll be practical network session with some of the top leaders. And if you want a partner, you want your brand to be presented at that particular element, your related company, whatever you work for, you want your to be represented. Why not? You can send them. I can close that. The back for the last time, please slow down now. Park your car. 085791770. Could you do this, sir? Maybe your voice bring it up.
I need my glasses,
So you are taking to have it the last time, last of the last time.
08157919770.
Thank you very much, Dr. And public, we know that we'll have you most after the training, so that we'll engage more on the issue.
I wanted to ask him
a copy of the book.
What consideration for workers? It's a day after Workers' Day. What consideration for workers? We are workers here.
The interesting thing is that if it's a day after Workers' Day, isn't that interesting for the worker to have an opportunity to have a full day of learning, recharge your mindset, recharge your and to I wish continuous growth. I wish continuous joy, peace. Most importantly, that their welfare will be increased and improved like never before.
And we also wish that they will more productive than what they are doing at the moment. Thank you very much that interaction. Abulu, before this, we'll look at what happened in the opposition political leaders were at summit. And we're seeing different actions. You need to see what the APC National Secretary and what the Publicity Secretary have put out there as their own reaction. Have you watched that video of what Seyi Makinde allegedly said and the kind of reaction we're seeing from the APC?
It is not the first time. Good morning, listener and viewer. It is not the first time that we have had since made mention of Nigeria drifting towards a one-party state. Not the first time politicians have sought comment. Opposition have made the comments. It's interesting, the presentation of Seyi Makinde at that IBA summit, they made mention of Operation Waiting, and that the one-party state drive by the APC might lead the country into Operation Waiting. That is grievous. That is a very, very massive statement made by the state. But I have not seen the point of his presentation. I've listened badly to the presentation. But if you go back, Operation Waiting happened in the 60s with the AG and the Tola Party, UNPP strong for power, and the accusation of a rigging in the and that burst open. And what is waiting? According to them, then means soak him in Yoruba. So it became waiting, and houses were burned, people were killed. I think Sheikh Makinde is trying to draw the APC to be more considerate in their life. If they agree that the president has the vacancy in the plan, I think what they should do is promote good governance. What they should do, like what they have done with workers, the head of service announced big package for workers, they should convince the people they are on your side of the and join them in a way that we are not. The president may comment, let's grab it, jump in, go and So those comments are insightful. And you don't blame Seyi Makinde for going that route, making such a comment. He's just trying to tell how painful it is to the opposition, the comments being made by the ruling party.
Comments that drive democracy or into any direction on progress and forward. We condemn it by anybody from source will most probably be coming from. I think, if it's me, the APC were practically engaging some of the issues that were thrown up at that, and they on shape they were. Listening to that video, and he was only drawing attention. Just as I said earlier, that Ibadan is the capital of Nigeria, of the Southwest. Yeah. Was a political, most of political developments and all of that. And he warned that, Operation Waiting also started there, as that eventually led to the collapse of the First Republic. Interestingly, Makinde was born in 1967. That was way after the collapse of the First Republic. So he did not even witness the Operation Waiting live, 4 years as it were. Most probably, being from that place, he would have read the history, heard from sources, persons who were affected, and all of that. But we'll move away from what APC is saying and engage some of the issues that they raised at this Ibadan declaration. One of which was that the nomination of candidates should be shifted to, that's the primaries by political parties. The deadline should be taken till the end of July 2026. Basically, I think this is a fundamental issue that they've raised, apart from the issue of presidential having they said they will work towards it. They didn't say they will have one single president. They said they will work towards it. They know that is a process. They know that it's not something that can be easily achieved.
What Ibadan has shown or thrown up now TV that the Turaki-led PDP will enter into the ADC, and you have that coalition. They are the ones that met there. Because you remember 1 week ago, the Wiki faction announced sales forms already, 1 million for president get an award. So doing their own business, I didn't know at that Ibadan summit. It tells you what happened during PDP then, when the article broke away from APC and broke away from the PDP and created new PDP, and eventually the new PDP emptied into APC. Maybe that is what we are waiting to see. But the one candidate ticket has been opposed by factions in these political parties. The PDP, the Wiki PDP has quickly said no. They are not agreeing to one candidate from the nation. Every party brings candidate. The A faction, the Katuku and the Nafiu Gombe, have also said that no, that is not their agreement. The opposition party have not agreed on fronting one candidate. The one candidate that most likely they will front if they front.
The one interesting thing is the fact that the Turaki faction, they can't likely jump into this where they have a case in court. Supreme Court has taken addresses both from all the parties involved in that matter. Judgment has been reserved. So I want to believe that when the judgment is given, when whatever action that most probably anybody will take, the same thing they say they David.
So probably they are making that proposal.
They are waiting what the Supreme Court will for them to be able to know which direction eventually. But one interesting thing also, if you look at the communique from the so-called Ibadan Declaration.
No, the Ibadan Declaration.
That's what they called it now.
Let not be derogatory.
I'm not being they are the ones who called
Ibadan Summit, Opposition Summit.
That's what they said. There is Ibadan Declaration.
Maybe this is what the NDC is warning about.
There is Ibadan Declaration. So what it was not signed by politicians. They said it was a spirit of opposition political. It was not signed by different political parties that were supposed to be present. Maybe because of factions, factions from ADC, factions from PDP, ANPP, mostly these other parties that were supposedly there. It was not signed by any party president.
Maybe that is the copy that was quickly released before it was signed to the press. So
but that's a public document, and that's what we are dealing with. But then one other issue the PDP, the ADC also raised in respect of that was that, look, for any political party to take the decision to say we are going to have one candidate, we are going to say they should go extend the election, but primaries and all of that, there must have been a resolution of the National Working Committee or the National Executive Committee. And we've seen that, we saw that in 1999 Alliance for Democracy and the Party brought in Olufalaye, as their joint candidate in the resolution of the NEC or the NWC of those parties for them to proceed. So they were saying, hence there was no such resolution authorizing them to even attend that meeting or take such decisions on behalf of the party. It was just a gathering of opposition politically.
Well, that's why there's a committee to guide party governance. The political parties individually have to go back. The committee is like a proposal. This is the summit proposed.
We'll now go back and now take the decision. We want to have a candidate. We want an move election. Want the other things they were requesting
for some analysts that can be resolved, but for some the interesting thing is that the opposition parties, whoever they are, came together under one umbrella and sat together in one hall, and not the one they did in ADC did convention in Abuja and there was no light or there was no generator to power them.
They brought a generator.
This one they had a hall, they sat and they discussed, and it is the interest.
The microphones were not working.
For some of us, TV, it is the Nigerian project that is important.
Sure.
Yes. Did they discuss the Nigerian project? Yes. Are they willing to move Nigeria to the next level? Yes. So whatever decisions they've agreed that is in the communique, I think as you are proposing, let the individual political parties study the communique and let them be that yes, we will bring certain power. This is what we agree communicate but don't forget, Ibadan can use as a document also in the court of law.
If we have the time after the mails, we might engage. You said they spoke for the growth and development of Nigeria, and all of that. And I will ask to go through the communication. There's nowhere where they criticize the policies of government. They were all about one party state. They provide alternatives as to what the Nigerians are through. After this break, yours engage program.